We all know Nami's tragic backstory, and it remains one of the most emotional gut punches in early One Piece. The war, orphan found on a battlefield, adopted by a loving marine turned farmer, only to be forced into servitude by the very pirates she grew to hate. A story that shaped her fears, her greed, and her relationship with the sea. But here's where it gets interesting, because what if this story is only the surface? What if the tragedy of Nami's life does not begin with Arlong, but with something far older, far quieter, and far more dangerous to the world government? What if Nami's home was not just destroyed by war, but intentionally erased? And what if that erasure was never about land or politics, but about her? Because today, we're putting together the clues that suggest Nami's true origin was deliberately deleted from history, and that this secret may place her at the very center of the Final Saga. The official story tells us that Nami is an orphan from the Oykot Kingdom in the East Blue, found as a baby by Nojiko in the aftermath of a battle, and raised by Belmir, far away from pirates and war. That peace was shattered when Arlong took over Kokoyasi village, leading to Belmir's death and Nami's 8 years of enslavement, where she was forced to draw maps for the man who destroyed her family. It is a complete story, one that perfectly explains her hatred of pirates, her obsession with money, and why Luffy freeing her felt like a miracle. But in One Piece, complete stories are rarely the full truth. They are often designed to hide something much bigger. Here is where things start to feel wrong. The Oykot Kingdom is confirmed as Nami's birthplace, and yet we know absolutely nothing about it. No history, no culture, no legacy, only that it was destroyed more than 20 years ago. In a world where kingdoms like Alabasta, Dressrosa, and Wano have centuries of documented history, this level of silence is not normal. It is deliberate. When you place Oykot next to Ohara or God Valley, a clear pattern emerges. When the world government wants something gone, it does not leave ruins. It leaves nothing. A kingdom erased, a bloodline cut short, and one child surviving by pure luck, or so we are meant to believe. This brings us back to Nami, because her navigation skills go far beyond talent. She does not just read the weather, she feels it in her body, even on the Grand Line, where weather is supposed to defy all logic. This is not just training, this is instinct. And in One Piece, instinct like this is almost always tied to bloodlines, destiny, or ancient powers. The theory suggests that Nami's ability is inherited, that she comes from a bloodline connected to the sky, the wind, and the flow of the world itself. The world government does not fear pirates. It fears control, and anyone capable of navigating the world beyond their rule is a threat. If the Oykot Kingdom possessed people who could safely guide others through the most dangerous seas, then its destruction would not be war. It would be prevention. Here's where everything clicks, because in every era, one person is essential to reach the truth. Roger needed Odin, just as Luffy needed Robin. Robin can read the Poneglyphs, but reading them only tells you where to go. It does not tell you how to survive the journey. Laughtale is not just hidden. It is protected by the most dangerous seas in the world, and Nami may be the only person alive with the ability to guide someone through that final stretch. Ancient weapons are not machines. They are always linked to people. Poseidon is a person, Pluton requires knowledge, and Uranus, the sky god, may require something even rarer: complete synchronization with the weather. And no one in the story has ever shown a deeper connection to the sky than Nami. This theory suggests that Nami is not just a navigator, but a key, a lost princess from a kingdom erased to prevent the world from ever reaching its final truth. Her suffering under Arlong was only the second tragedy. The first was a silent erasure. And just like Robin was essential for Luffy to follow in Roger's footsteps, Nami may be essential for Luffy to finish the journey and finally reach Laughtale. And this is where Nami's role becomes even more critical, because if the Final Saga has taught us anything, It is that raw power alone is not enough to reach the truth. Every era has had its strongest fighters, but only one crew ever reached Laughtale, and they did not do it by force. They did it by understanding the world. Roger did not conquer the seas. He navigated them. And that is a distinction that matters, because even with Odin reading the Poneglyphs, the journey would have been impossible without someone who could guide the ship through the most unstable and dangerous waters in existence. The final island is not just hidden by location, it is guarded by the sea itself, by currents that should not exist, weather patterns that defy logic, and conditions that would destroy any normal crew before they even realize they are close. This is why Nami is not just important, she is essential, because without her abilities, Luffy could know the destination and still never arrive. And this creates a perfect parallel between eras, because just as Robin fulfills the role Odin once did as the key to understanding the past, Nami fulfills the role of the guide, the one who can actually lead the crew into the future. Reading the Poneglyphs tells you where Laughtale is, but only someone who can feel the world itself can tell you when and how to get there. This also explains why Nami has never been given a devil fruit, because her power is not meant to come from a single ability, but from a deeper connection to the world's natural flow, a connection that cannot be turned off or taken away. In the final war, when the world is thrown into chaos, when the red line falls and the seas begin to change, it will not be the strongest fighter who saves the Straw Hats. It will be the one who can understand and adapt to a world that is literally breaking apart. And that person is Nami. If the Oykot Kingdom was destroyed to prevent this very moment, then the world government did not fail because they missed a child. They failed because they could never erase what was already part of her. This would mean Nami's journey was never about survival alone. It was about time waiting for the world to reach a point where her abilities would become irreplaceable. And when Luffy finally sets sail toward the last island, it will not be a god, a king, or a weapon leading the way. It will be a navigator whose past was stolen and whose future was always meant to shape the end of the world. Because if One Piece is a story about freedom, then the person who can guide the world through its final storm may be the most important character of all. Nami was never just a navigator. She was always a key, a character whose importance was hidden in plain sight. And without Nami, Luffy could never reach Laughtale, no matter how strong he becomes. So if you want to see more Final Saga theories like this, make sure to subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think Nami's true role will be.